Trigger warning, this is just a fun theory video I decided to do. This video has nothing to do with anyone's belief or any sensitive topic I may kind of trigger. I do apologize if anyone somehow gets bad vibes somehow by watching this theory video. Viewer discretion has been placed, you have been warned, and now let's get into the video. Harry Potter, the franchise that started your childhood with books, with the rise of several movie adaptations, and a series of tweets that make those childhood dreams turn into a nightmare dressed as a daydream. Hello, wonderful people. My name is Headmaster Xero, and I challenge you to think and be different when it comes to the story we call life. Now let's face it, Harry Potter, you love it or you hate it, but it's still part of our lives in many ways than one. I mean, I am a proud Slytherin, of course, and my birthday is on New Year's Eve, so I share the same birthday with the boy who lived. Nah, I'm just going off my dark humor. So in today's video, I would like to discuss my theory on what could be the next potential prequel after the Fantastic Beasts franchise. I mean, when you think about it, there is a theme going on when you break down the current story timeline. In the present timeline, our main character Harry is a Gryffindor who explores the magical world of the Wizarding World in a good side, but dealing with its dark reality of magical racism.
No one asked your opinion, you filthy little mudblood.
While the past/prequel timeline, we have Newt, who is a Hufflepuff who explores and captures fantastic world of magical beasts, Pokemon, while dealing with the magical racism of a Civil War, while looking forward to the future timeline of Harry's middle child, Albus Severus Potter, who, just like anyone who treats someone from Slytherin with the finger. In all honesty, it makes sense as a Slytherin myself. What we all think of this cursed screenplay is... But overall, living up to this legacy of the aftermath of ending the cursed cycle of magical racism with a mix of fatherly and son relationship, ironically fits well with me. But anywho, what I wanted to theorize is what the prequel to Fantastic Beasts would look like. We already seen the Wizarding World and what it's like. We already got an idea of what kind of species exists at the time of this recording, and we know that the future of the Wizarding World would be man kind of thing, without dark magic to fight off against. Light magic can't shine the brightest. Overall, I already concluded there was really a prequel right after Fantastic Beasts. Its main focus will be on the distant past before the founding of Hogwarts, and the plot will be magical racism/persecution with a, wait for it, a Ravenclaw individual. And this time, we will see the story devices of...
Hey, look! Neville's got a remembrall.
Oh, yes. What you see before you, ladies and gentlemen, is a curious little potion known as Felix Felicis. But it is more commonly referred to as...
Liquid luck.
Anyway, I brought a few items from home that might prove embarrassing.
You guessed it, magical objects/items. The problem with magical persecution and the rise of Muggle religions, according to the magical timeline of the Harry Potter universe, before 100 AD, the era of Muggle/Wizarding cooperation, many political and religious leaders were witches and wizards from ancient Greece, the place where the earliest known magic spells and devices like the Patronus and the Horcrux was first created. Here's some fun fact. 382 BC, the Ollivander family opened its wand shop, and Herpo, who historically was the original evil wizard who created the very first Horcrux in ancient Greece. Romulus, who according to legend was raised by werewolves, and as you can tell, ancient Greece was literally the Garden of Eden magical universe of the mythology when people started to separate and innovate their magical ideologies method hoods. That is what we see in the current Harry Potter timeline. However, we're going to focus more on the 100 to 1400 AD time period, aka the medieval era, and during that period with the rise of religious movements such as Catholicism, who the very nation of Rome converted into Christianity by replacing their pagan figures with biblical figures, the doctrination of the Catholic Church spreading to ancient Europe and the rest of the world, thus triggering the time of uneasiness of the coexistence between wizard and Muggles communities, which leads to the four scenarios. First, the persecution/magical purge of the magical communities known as the classic Orchard Stake, or my theory, the Knights Templar Crusades. Second, magical suppression and hidden from the magical hunters. Thirdly, the cursed hatred of the rise of dark wizard and witches who were created by the very fear of the Muggles who they once coexisted with. And finally, the growing distrust on the Muggles' part was the very why on the magical separations of the Wizarding world and the Muggle world, which founded the 7 wizarding schools we have known today. Now, the main time setup will be on the medieval era before the founding of Hogwarts, where our potential Ravenclaw protagonist, either man or female, will be in the middle of a magical purge or manipulation of converting their kind to meet the objections of the Muggles, aka Knights Templar. And my theory is this could be a potential Netflix or HBO Max kind of vibes, kind of like, Game of Thrones. However, I believe there could be 3 seasons for this potential series with their own respective antagonists. First antagonist will be the Muggle communities themselves. The second one is like the Hunters and the Templars, who are armed with anti-magical gear created by the goblins or parts from magical creatures or demons. And finally, the very dark wizards/witches who want to go to war with the Muggle world versus the founders of Hogwarts, or hashtag Rowena Ravenclaw wisdom. In conclusion of this Harry Potter meta theory, I believe the magical items will be used on the Muggle side as weapons to hunt the magical communities disguised as holy objects. The Ravenclaw protagonist will either be Rowena Ravenclaw or someone that's connected to her. While the aftermath of the 3 antagonists I just mentioned earlier will have some sort of influence with a young Salazar Slytherin and his turn towards the dark side and leaving behind a dark legacy of hatred that ironically created a prophecy of a hero that will bring balance to the magical universe with love.
It lives in your very skin.
What is it?
Love, Harry. Love.
Nah, there will always be orderly chaos wherever we read any magical story, but that is just thinking, a mind Xero kind of thinking. Thank you for watching. See you next time.